everyone. Welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and in the Ravelry group, which is called Pip and Pin. Today is March 26th, is episode 52, and it has been a couple of weeks. It has been a very eventful couple of weeks. Before I even get into any of the knitting and stuff, I just want to say that we're all doing okay. We're all fine. We're doing our social distancing and just kind of doing our part to kind of get this under control with the COVID-19 that's going around. I hope all of you are doing really well. I know last week especially was really tough because everything was going so quickly, which is why I didn't podcast. I just couldn't do it. It was too much. So I feel like things have calmed down a little bit now. And I just want to say that for me personally, I know that watching too much news or being on my phone too much and getting all this information, while it's important, stresses me out. So I find myself gravitating towards really fluffy sitcoms and rereading Harry Potter just to kind of calm things that are calm and easy to digest. And that's what I want this to be. So I just wanted to put it out there that we're doing fine. I really hope that you're doing fine. I hope that you're all healthy and happy. And even though this is a little bit hard and it's a little bit weird, I hope that you're all doing your part as well. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I want this to be a respite from all of the things that are going on right now, because I know personally that's what I need. So I don't want to dwell on it, and I don't want to bring that into the podcast. So from now on, I'm just going to treat this like any other podcast so that you guys could have a little break too, because I know I certainly need it every once in a while. Yeah. So I'm just going to jump right in. We have one knit along that's going on right now. It is our Fix It or Forget It make along, and that one is ending the end of the month, so March 31st it's going to be ending. That's still actually quite a bit of time to get an entry in if you'd like to participate. I have a chat thread open if you're looking for inspiration of things to do. There's lots of people there sharing their fixes or forgettings. There's also the finished object thread, and that's where I will be choosing the winner from at the beginning of April. And basically what this make along is all about is fixing the things that need fixing or just forgetting them entirely. So that could be mending some socks or changing a bind off or lengthening something, or just making something that wasn't quite right into something that is right. So there's that. Or if you have a project that you finished and it's not working or just never gets worn or anything like that, then just frog it. I frogged to Mount Pleasant and it felt great. It just was never right. It was just never the right thing. So that's, again, on March 31st. And I did get a little prize together. So this is going to be picked from the finished objects thread, the beginning of April. So first you will get a copy of, I just got these printed. I got them in the mail yesterday. So a copy of our new pattern, Bear Mountain. This is a top-down sock pattern with some patterning on the foot there. And it's just a little cardstock pamphlet. So you'll be getting a copy of that, as well as a skein of Midknit Cravings Sweet Sock Yarn in this beautiful afternoon tea colorway. It's not quite the same color. I think for my sample sock I used Red Fox fibers in the Grizzly colorway. This is a little bit lighter, but it's still that beautiful coppery tone, and I think it will make a beautiful pair of socks. So yeah, the winner will get that little kit in the mail. And that's it. I was I think I might start something maybe for spring, maybe like a summer, spring-ish, something or other. But I don't have any of the details, so maybe next week I'll try and figure out what I want to do next. Finished objects. I have a finished object. And it is this guy here. This is, I think I showed this last time. This is a top-down triangle shawl that I've been working on. It's a new design. And this uses Union Fibers, Union DK, in Venice Peach, which is this peachy bit, Corrode, which is this brown, and Misunderstood, which is the black. And you're getting a little bit of backlighting, so it's not actually representing the colors. There we go. That's better. Yeah, and I added tassels because tassels make everything better, but I'm just not sure about the pink tassels. I don't think it anchors it enough. Visually. I mean, it anchors just fine when you're wearing it, because that's my favorite thing about tassels. I might change them to black. I don't know. But yeah, if you have watched previous episodes of the podcast, this was something else. It was a cowl, weird little colorwork cowl. That was fine. But when I bought this yarn at Knit City, I did have a shawl in mind. My original idea didn't work at all. But I'm very happy with this. It drapes lovely. It just feels so nice on. The yarn is beautiful. And I really love this little bit here. A new technique that I tried out, and I'm very happy with it. And I think I'm going to be using some more, use that element in maybe another design or something. Yeah, so this is a new design. I don't have the pattern written up. I find that I have, with Georgia home, I can knit, but computer time is very limited right now. So I feel like I'm going to be stockpiling patterns for a bit. And like I usually, when Georgia wasn't in school, I would, knit and stuff during the day and, still be with her. But then I would go to a coffee shop and work, which I can't really do right now. So I guess I could go to my mom's house. Maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll in the evening or take a day on the weekend to go to my mom's house because nobody's there. She's in Arizona, so yeah, go use that. I used to use that as my office all the time. Why didn't I think of that? Anyways, so yeah, I guess this will be released at some point. Hopefully soonish. I just have to go take some photography. Maybe I'll go take George out to the forest and set up a tripod and see what happens. And I will need testers, so keep an eye on my Instagram because that's usually where I post about it. And yeah, really happy with this one. For works in progress, I have, you know what, honestly, this is going to be a really short podcast. I just realized I have 2 works in progress, and that's it. I feel like I haven't really been knitting a ton because I've been doing other things, but I'll show you what I have. I've been working on my blanket. I haven't shown you these guys in a little while, but this is for the Weekender blanket by Sandra Paul. And it's basically just like a scrappy blanket. I'm doing it as a scrappy blanket, and you crochet these little hexagons, and eventually they will all get connected. In the pattern, there's a way to like join them as you go. But the whole reason I wanted to do something like this is so I could piece it together at the end, because scrappy projects where I join as I go, I always end up hating. And this one I really love. And so I did a whole another jar of hexagons. So that's probably about 30, 35. And I wove in all the ends, which was impressive to me. So I maybe about a third. It says you need like 300 and something, and I have about 100. So maybe a quarter of the way done. This is a long project, but that's okay. The one thing I really like about the way that I'm doing it is because I'm doing them all separately, I can kind of, like after I finished this, I laid them all out to see, just to see kind of what I might still need color-wise. So I figured, like they're all kind of the same tone, which I like, but I feel like I need to add some more white or something. So then I can do a jar of like just white ones, and maybe that will even things out. So that's something that I'm just going to be working on forever and ever and ever. But that was also part of that like comfort thing. It was just an easy little project to do. The other thing that I've been working on, I've not really been wanting to work on this. And the only reason is because if you watched last time, I showed you I started making, because I started the Indie Mini Sock Swap again, which I don't know if I'll get this up today or not, but registration may or may not still be open for that by the time this gets on YouTube. Probably not. But anyways, I started the Indie Mini Sock Swap again, which is an event that I hold where people send in a skein of yarn, and then I send back 5 like mystery mini skeins. So I wind them all up into mini skeins and make them into little sets and send them out. And that comes with a pattern that uses mini skeins. So I have been wanting to work on that pattern, but my Chaogu needle set is a week late. And I'm really not impressed about that. So it was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago, and then I just emailed them today. But anyways, so I've been like not wanting to cast on anything else because I want to work on that, but also I need something to knit. Like I don't have anything else to knit, so I wrote up a new pattern. And not that I don't want to knit this, it's just I was really excited to like work on the other one. But anyways, this is turning out lovely, and I am very excited about it as well. This is going to be a Cat Bells cardigan. So if last fall I released the Cat Bells sweater, which was the orange kind of oversized sweater. This is going to be the sister pattern to that, and it's going to be a cardigan. So this is using Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the Artifact colorway, which is this wonderful like deep forest green with some tweedy bits. And Brooklyn Tweeded is a woolen spun yarn. For the original Cat Bells sweater, I used what did I use? I used Fiber Company Cumbria. And so this has a very different feel, a different gauge as well. So but I really love how this is coming out. So this is going to be like a long cardigan, and it's going to be so light and lovely to wear. Especially in BC, like where we are, this is just going to be the perfect little like throw over thing. Has the same texture. I'm debating on what to do with the sleeves. I haven't really decided yet, but I figure I will get some of the body done. I think after this ball of yarn, I will block it because the swatch is, it's not, you might not be able to tell the difference. But, oh yeah, like the swatch is different. It has a different drape, and it has, like, this is kind of bunchy. It blocks out a bit. That's what most yarn does. So I'm going to block it and then decide what I'd like to do next. I'm really loving this yarn. Like this color, I just love it so much. I'm really excited to go out into the forest and like take some pictures. So I'm not sure when that one will be done. I'm thinking it will probably be released in the fall. And that's it. That's really all the knitting I've been doing. It seems I was thinking about it the other day. Like, that's actually not a lot for 2 weeks, for me especially. Usually I knit a lot more, and I think there's just too much going on. I'll knit for like maybe half an hour at a time, and then I'll do something else, which is fine because I'm getting other stuff done. But it's very weird for me not to be knitting this much. I am still happy that I have some progress on some things. I finished a thing and I worked on 2 other things. So, I mean, there's definite progress, but just not nearly. I feel like that this is the amount of knitting that I usually would do in like 1 week. So I've been doing about half as much. Another reason why I didn't want to podcast last week. I just didn't have anything to share. I just wasn't doing anything. I also don't have any stash to share. Still waiting for my needles. So I did order some yarn from Autumn and Indigo. She had an update, so I got one of her, she has like sets of yarn, so I got a couple of those actually. Oops. It was funny because I saw her post on Instagram, and then I went and I like put them in my cart and I looked at them, and then I did the exchange, which she's in Washington and I'm in Canada, and our dollar right now is bonkers. Like, it's so low. So ordering things from the States, if you thought you had to be careful before, really be careful now. But I mean, her yarn was such a good deal, and she had a discount as well that she was doing a promotion, so it was 15% off, already a really great price. So I did the math, and it did end up working out to still be a good deal, even in Canadian dollars. So I went for it. But I like picked out 2 sets, and then I didn't buy those ones because I was like, oh, am I being an idiot? And then I realized that I wasn't, and I just couldn't stop thinking about them. So I went back, but of course those ones were gone. So I got 2 other ones, which I think I'm going to be happy with as well. I wouldn't have ordered them if I wasn't happy with them. And I did order some mini skein sets from her before, and I was very super impressed with her yarn. So I'm excited about these ones. Do I need more stock yarn? Not particularly, but what can you do? As for like life stuff, I've been organizing a lot. I think last time I talked about possibly getting a new bed from not buying one, but we inherited one and upgraded to a queen size, and we did do it. So Justin took Georgia 2 weeks ago to go pick up the bed from his parents' house. So I spent the day completely cleaning and organizing and decluttering our bedroom. So that felt amazing. That felt really, really good. And we got the new bed in, got the new bedding on. Like, it was really great. We got rid of a ton of stuff, just random. I can't even remember what we got rid of, so that's good. But we even like rearranged our room and stuff. I don't know. It just felt really nice and really fresh. So I was on kind of a big organization spring clean kick. So then Justin actually dropped Georgia off at his parents' house for a couple days. So she spent about 4 days with her grandparents, about 2 weeks ago. Those 4 days I spent cleaning more. So Justin came and helped me with the bed, and we set all that up. And then the next day we both went through all of our clothes. I piled everything into the living room, all of my stuff into the living room, and kind of did the like KonMari like method of clearing everything out. And then while Justin was doing the garbage, like taking away our old mattress and whatnot. And then so when I finished mine, then I helped him with his, because it's just not something he's particularly good at. But I wasn't afraid, but like I've been on this kick for a while of organizing. I've kind of been slowly working away at the kitchen. I completely reorganized my desk. Not necessarily, yeah, reorganized, cleaned it, like totally redid everything. So my little space is good. And I was a little bit afraid, not afraid, but like, that Justin wouldn't be on board with like helping, which is fine. Like, it's my thing. It's all right. But he actually got really excited about it too. So like when I was doing my clothes, he was like, oh, like, can you help me with mine? I was, absolutely. And then we talked about what he wanted in like his side of the closet. Cause now all my stuff is pretty well organized. And I've gone through it all. He still has a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we need to get rid of. So he has like his little desk and then his closet. We did all his clothes, and then the patio, he just asked for help with it. Like, I don't think he can't really like do it himself. He just, I don't know. I really love organizing. He gets really anxious because it always looks worse, like before it gets better. He actually, when we were doing his clothes, or like we were talking about doing his other stuff, and he's like, oh, I just want to do like this section and this little thing and then do that. I'm like, no, like that's not how you do it. What you have to do is take everything off, clean it, deep clean everything, and then organize it. Like, it's gonna look like a disaster. It's gonna look way worse than when you started, but then it gets done. Like, if you just do one little section at a time, it doesn't really work, because especially with his stuff, he has a lot of tools and car stuff and books, and like there's definite sections to the stuff that he has. There's the camping stuff, the fishing stuff, the car stuff. There's, but it's kind of all over because our place is so small. So what I said, like what we would really need to do with his stuff is just take like all the stuff off the shelves, all the stuff out of his closet. Maybe not do all of it because that would be quite overwhelming, but then get some bins and be like, okay, this is the camping stuff. And then just sort everything into bins and then put things back in a logical way. And he almost started to fight me on it, but then he realized that like, I actually do this. This is something that I enjoy doing and I'm really good at doing. So I'm not necessarily the best at keeping things organized, but I am really good at getting things organized. So he just said like, okay, you will just tell me what to do. So that's what we're going to do. I might get Georgia to help me set up, because we bought a big shelf for his side of the closet. Because he doesn't really have, like, he has a dresser, all his clothes are in his dresser now, and he has like 4 shirts that he hangs up. So it's like, well, why don't you just hang your shirts up on my side of the closet, and then we're going to set up a nice shelf, get some organization going. So maybe we'll do that this weekend. I don't know. It was much easier when Georgia wasn't here, only because she wants to help and like be a part of it, which is great. But also I like, when I do it, I want to spend 8 hours, like start to finish. Like I get hyper focused on it. And you can't do that. It's not fair when, like, you can't stop in the middle. And that's hard to do when you have a little one who also wants attention. It was really beautiful weather last week. It's kind of cloudy and not as great this week, but last week was really beautiful. So I fixed up my bike. I have an old bike. It's probably from the 80s, I would say. It was my grandma's that I inherited from her. And it had sat for a while at my mom's place in the elements. So it was quite rusty. A couple months ago, we took it to Justin's parents' house, and he fixed up the mechanical parts and made sure that it was working properly. And so Georgia and I worked on the patio, and got all the rust off and did that. So we fixed it up that way and tweaked a couple little things and got a new seat for it and a helmet that fit me. And so now Georgia and I can go for bike rides. So we actually rode our bikes to, we live about 5-minute drive to Mill Lake, which is like the big park in Abbotsford. And about how long did it take us to get there? Maybe a 10-minute bike ride to it. So we packed a lunch and went and sat under a tree and had a picnic and did crafts, and that was really fun. So hopefully we will be able to get out a little more with our bikes. Maybe we'll do that today. And then we almost got a cat, which was very exciting and super disappointing all at the same time. This was part of the terribleness of last week. Every once in a while, I will send Justin a link to an SPCA cat and say, how about this one? And not that he doesn't want a cat, like he doesn't mind cats, but his thing is he just doesn't really want an indoor cat, and we're on the second floor of an apartment. Any cat we would have to get would have to be an indoor cat. So he doesn't want to get a kitten and like take that away. And he also doesn't want to have a cat that has been an outdoor cat and then bring it inside. So they're just like, it just has to be the right cat. So this one that I found at the SPCA, she was 8 years old, so already an adult, which I like knowing the personality of the cat that I'm getting. And I mean, adopting older cats is always a good thing to do anyways. Kittens, everybody wants a kitten. I'm like, no, I want a cat. So she was 8 years old, and she was a indoor cat. She lived her whole life in an apartment, and she was apparently really, really like Levy, and just loved pets and people. And the reason why she was given to the SPCA is because I think the lady who owned her before was a nurse and just didn't have enough time to devote to her. Like, she was a very like needy cat, not needy in a bad way, but like needs company. So she was surrendered to the SPCA because she just couldn't give her the attention that she needed. So this was it. This was the perfect cat. So I sent it to Justin, and he's like, I can't really say no to this one, can I? I'm like, nope, you can't. So we all got kind of excited about it. I sent an application because of COVID. The SPCA here isn't letting people, like, they close the doors to the public basically. So if you wanted to adopt an animal, they have them all online, which is how I found out about her. And then you do an application, and then they'll call you and like set up an appointment to come and meet them. So I did that on Saturday morning, and then nothing. I didn't hear anything. I got a confirmation email that the thing went through, but I didn't hear anything back from them. So Sunday afternoon comes along, and I still hadn't heard from them. So I give them a call, and they said that they didn't have my application. So they never received it, and they had actually just gotten off the phone with someone who had applied that morning for them to come down and pick her up. And it was so disappointing because we did get it first and it just didn't go through. I did get a really nice email from one of the managers of the SPCA or something, just apologizing, for the mix-up. And it's like, well, it really sucks. I think it was compounded by everything else that was going on, but I was really upset about it. Because I was finally getting my cat, and then it didn't happen. But now at least I know that, like, we've just decided, especially because, like, Justin kind of thing too was our plan forever has been to be moving out of this apartment. And it just hasn't been happening. So it's like, we don't know how long we're going to be here. But now we know. Now I have a definite yes. that I have a lot of cat. So if I come home with one, he can't get mad at me. It just has to be the right one. So we just keep looking at the SPCA and seeing if there's one that jumps out. There's nothing yet, but I'm sure they're out there. Neat. So now that Georgia is home for spring break and for this foreseeable future, she wanted to be a part of the podcast too. So she actually made a craft and she wants to share it with you. Tell them what it is and show it off.
This is to put all of your markers and sheens.
I'll hold it way up here. I'll hold it.
And then you can put all pencils and sheens in here. Let me show you. First, put them.
And do you hang this up on your wall? Do you pin it to your wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have it as a holder for your pencil crayons and your markers?
Yeah.
Cool.
And paper, whatever you want.
Paper? How did you make it?
So you know the things that Johnny gave us?
The stamp markers?
Not the chant markers.
Oh, the cards?
Yeah.
The blank cards?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a blank card.
Or you can also use a folded piece of paper if you want to make a bigger one.
Okay.
And so what I did is I used a hole punch and I hole punched on both sides, like this and that one and that one and that one and even this one. And then I put it flat this through all of them and then ta-da, it's done. You just need to do 2 knots too. You also need to do knots.
Yeah, and you tie it all together. That is super cool. Do you have a name for it?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Wait, let me just think.
It's a pretty good thinking face.
Okay. I came up with a name.
All right, what's the name?
The Pin.
The Pin. I like it.
The Pin. Can I pin it up on my wall now, Mom?
Yeah, you go pin it up on your wall. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye.